The most exciting news for the Detroit Lions fans is we will finally, we hope, get to see Jameson Williams on the field for the Lions as they get set to host the Panthers this Sunday at Ford Field. I expect the roof to blow off that building, by the way, because of the way the Lions beat the Packers. But Braylon, we've been talking about this guy for a year and a half. There has been obstacles each and every step of the way. Everything is off now. There are no more obstacles. There is no injury to deal with. There is no suspension. Now it's time to play. And don't tell us what you can do. Show us what you can do.
I absolutely agree with you. Now, this is a guy that we talked about 2 years ago, Ryan, in the national championship game. This guy was the best player on the field that day. If this guy doesn't get injured, they win the national championship, they beat Georgia. This is the same guy you're talking about now. He's 2 years basically removed from his ACL surgery in terms of what he did in the offseason last year. You're healthy now with your hamstring. You have been a guy that has made some mistakes. You've been a guy that your team has been waiting for you. They drafted you. They waiting for that star from Alabama. They waiting for that guy they can take the top off. You look at some of these players, like look at Stephon Diggs did yesterday. You wouldn't like to have that player. That's what Jameson is. The guy's getting down the field. He's elite with the speed. That's the one thing, and there's no disrespect to Amon-Ra St. Brown or Josh Reynolds. They just don't run 4-2. You can do different things when you got a guy that can take the top off like that, and it makes it easier for guys underneath. You don't think Sam Laporta is going to eat in the underneath flat route because of that? So just come in, be ready. We drafted you 12th overall for a reason. It's time to show up.
All right, here's Dan Campbell from earlier Monday at the press conference talking about, this was a Dave Burkett question, what are the realistic expectations that you have for Jameson Williams from here to the end of the season? Here's what Dan Campbell had to say.
Honestly, for me, it's dependability. That's it. Reliability, dependability. Going to line up, know where you're supposed to be. We're going to get the depth out of you, and we can count on you to be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, and that's it. That's it. I'm not looking for yards. I'm not looking for explosives. Not looking for touchdowns. Just be a reliable receiver, like any of those guys in the room. That's it.
When I first got to Cleveland Browns, Romeo Crennel, all he really wanted me to do, I set out of camp late, I signed late, got in there. By the time I got in there, they had already started camp. You know, all he wanted from me, he wanted me to be dependable. He wanted me to be on time for meetings. He wanted me to be a guy that knew the plays, knew what I was supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do when you're in this life. When you get drafted in that position for a team, just do the simple stuff. Because the simple stuff will lead to the big stuff. He's got a good team around him, that offense. They're rolling in the right direction. If he comes in and wants to be a part of this team, it's be easy for him.
We always talk about this too, and it's a cliche because it's true. The best of ability is availability, and that's exactly what Dan Campbell is telling Jameson Williams, and what he is setting the bar of expectations for every Lions fan. Don't expect this guy to come in and grab 10 catches a game for $150 and 2 touchdowns. What the Detroit Lions are, and this is Jameson Williams' benefit here, the Detroit Lions are not some one-man wrecking crew. The Detroit Lions are as close to a team. I kind of correlate them to that 04 Pistons team. You know, there are some stars on this team for sure, but there's no, I don't know. I mean, is there a Hall of Famer on this team? You know what I mean? Maybe
not currently.
Maybe one day, but not currently. You get the point. They work together. Everything is about one unit, and whether it's St. Brown or Laporta or Gibbs or Montgomery or Reynolds or insert name here, they're getting it done on offense because of all of them, and the offensive line included. This isn't just something where Jameson Williams, the most talented player, we believe the most talented player, has to come in and save the day. He does not. He just has to be a part of it.
Yeah, when they drafted him last year, it would have been a situation where his job on offense would have been to save the day. Like, if he would have been healthy last year, it would have been to save the day. He's the guy that can blow the top off the coverage. He's the guy that was playing so good at that level with Alabama and, like I said, in the Georgia game. But now they don't. They got people they trust. Just come in and be somebody you trust. Sam Laporta, Jared Goff trusts him. Ben Johnson trusts him. Dan Campbell trusts him. Jameer Gibbs. David Montgomery comes back. 3 touchdowns, 121 yards, puts his head down and runs guys over. They trust him. They trust Josh Reynolds. You know who they trust, number 14. Just be a guy that they can come in and trust. They're not making it hard. They're not making it hard for him, man.
This is his camp.
Yeah.
I know he had a couple of weeks of training camp, and then he got hurt. Then he had to sit out, and he can't come near the team for 4 weeks. Here it is. He's starting fresh. They don't know what the hell they have here. They just want this kid to go out there, stretch a little, get going. If you put him in for a few plays, maybe he takes the pressure off of Sam Laporta and other guys on that team. Josh Reynolds, he's still going to eat. Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be the number 1 target. Yeah. Sam Laporta is going to be the number 2 target. The guy that's probably not going to get as much anymore, and he really hasn't been in the game plan, is Marvin Jones. But if this kid can just come in, maybe take some pressure off the other guys, because he will. And what team did he wind up beating by like 40 yards last year? They snuck by him. I forgot whatever team that was for the only touchdown.
I was
he's going to do one of those again, because they're going to forget he's on the freaking field eventually.
Yeah, the one thing that I don't want him to do, Ryan and Mads, I don't want him to try to do too much. Like, I don't want him to try to come in and do too much. I remember when I came off my ACL in year 2, like when I came in, I finally was cleared. When everything was going, it was time for me to play again. I was out there doing everything. I was trying to take every rep in one-on-one. I was trying to take every rep in Skelly. In the games, I'm trying to lay people out. I was trying to do too much. I almost re-injured myself. Just take it in stride. Let the game come to you. Let Ben Johnson put you in good situations to make plays, be blocked when it's a run play. Just let the game come to you. There's a reason you went 12th overall. There's a reason. We believe in that. So let the game come to you and be that first-round pick.
The guy said it was the Viking game last year.
It might have been the Viking game last year. It was the Viking game at home where they won 34-23. And it was a Jamison Williams touchdown pass, 41-yard touchdown pass in the first quarter. Got him going in that one. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for that. But again, too, for J-Mo, he's got to feel pretty good about the fact, too, that he's not coming into a 1-3 team where he feels responsible because the offense couldn't get anything done with him. He's got to feel really good that he's coming into a 3-1 team. And I'll tell you else who feels probably pretty good about it. And no offense to Josh Reynolds. I love Josh Reynolds. I think he's been the unsung hero of this first quarter for the Detroit Lions. But the benefit that Amon-Ra St. Brown, whether it's this week or in weeks to come, the benefit that Amon-Ra St. Brown will get from Jamison Williams being on the field, I'm not even sure you can quantify that. At least that's what we expect, right? I mean, if Jamison Williams is, as Dan Campbell said, getting the depth and making sure that he's taken half the field with him, well, you know who you can't double team anymore?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
You can't double team him anymore. So there are so many weapons now on this. This is the guy, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
That you wanted to see. I mean, opens the doors for Laporta and spreads the field for Gibbs. And when you put speed on the field, man, it just opens the doors for everybody.
Speed is automatically going to garner 2 players when they believe it's going to go deep. You got a safety and you got a corner. That's 2 players off the board. Amon-Ra St. Brown, with the motion and things that Ben Johnson is starting to implement with him, he's going to eat in that. Sam Laporta is going to eat. There's another guy that's going to eat. Khalif Raymond is starting to come out as a wide receiver for the Detroit Lions. You get all these guys and you add Jamison to the mix. I can't wait to see how Ben Johnson uses J-Mo early on in his first 2 games, because you start looking at what the Lions have, and all of a sudden that wide receiver core that was just okay, all of a sudden they look like a real threat.
Hey, I'm so excited for Brad Holmes, seeing how happy he gets at the end of these games. He's unwrapping a Christmas gift. He really is. This is a gift, like an extra gift. You remember when we were kids, whoever's birthday it was, the other kids, my parents would get a little something for the other kids as well. I don't want to laugh about that. I'm just saying.
It's got to be an ethnic thing.
I grew up in the wrong house.
So when I get my daughters something, I always give my other daughters a little something on the side. Here, honey, this was.
That's what my mom did too.
Softens the blow.
It's got to be an ethnic.
So this is like a free. This is a free gift. This kid house money. I always say it. The Lions are playing with house money, and they just got a lot better.
They got a lot better, but you got to remember, they gave up a lot to move up to get Jamison, so it ain't house money. It's time for him to play. It's time for him to show up and show out.
There's no doubt about it, and it is exciting to see what this guy can do. Like I said, we've been talking about him forever, and now it's now the gloves are off, for lack of a better way to say it. And again, Dan Campbell was non-committal today at all. And again, he hasn't seen Jamison Williams even practice yet.
Yeah.
But he said if he plays this week, it's not going to be like he's going to be out there playing 60 plays. That's not fair to him.